Hello, welcome back to 5149. Today we're going to be discussing the issue of face masks as it relates to coronavirus. But before I dive into that, I just want to say thank you for those who've clicked on this video. Know that your support of independent media is really important. And if you haven't already done so, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps a lot. So this issue of face masks has been talked about a lot, but the reason why I wanted to get into it today is because I saw this viral clip of this lady, to be quite honest, quite unhinged, going off on how masks are somehow killing people. And it got me thinking, how did we get here and what are the implications? Because I believe this debate in whether or not face masks should be mandated is an issue that is uniquely American. So I think this clip is all over the place, but I'll play a short snippet and then I'll dive into my analysis, not necessarily of the clip, but just of this issue in general.
You literally cannot mandate somebody to wear a mask knowing that that mask is killing people. It literally is killing people. And we the people are waking up, and we know what citizen's arrest is because citizen's arrests are already happening, okay? And every single one of you that are obeying the devil's laws are going to be arrested. And you, doctor, are going to be arrested for crimes against humanity.
I mean, she's probably the extreme end of everything. So yeah, I'm not gonna get into her too much. I know it's just something that sparked my thought process. I'm gonna briefly cover the key timeline of events about face masks and break down the fiasco. Yes, it is a fiasco that the politicians and health experts have created around what really should be a non-issue in my eyes. And keep in mind, a fiasco that once again disproportionately affects the working class. So we have in January here, we heard from the top experts that masks not that effective.
The CDC says wearing a face mask to protect yourself from this new coronavirus is actually not recommended.
It is unnecessary. As we said, in the United States, the risk to any individual American is extremely low.
That's because there's not much evidence that face masks benefit the general population.
I heard that, and honestly, I was traveling almost every week on airplanes, no masks. I even told my mother that they were ineffective, so I wasn't gonna wear one. And then come April, we're told we should wear a mask.
CDC recommends, and the task force recommends, wearing cloth face coverings in public settings where other social distancing measures are difficult to maintain.
Yep, so a few months gone by and they said masks are now the thing to do, and they chalked this up to new scientific findings. But then in June, we find out from Dr. Anthony Fauci that the reason they told us that masks didn't work in the beginning was because they wanted to save them for the healthcare workers.
We wanted to make sure that the people, namely the healthcare workers, who were brave enough to put themselves in harm's way, we did not want them to be without the equipment that they needed.
I totally get that reasoning, but just tell us that. I still can't really get over how screwed up that is, quite honestly, and how they blatantly just lied to us about this, and then the mainstream press just gives them a free pass for the most part. And guys, this is fundamentally how conspiracy theories become mainstream. We just have an erosion, a complete erosion of our institutions, and then we have no idea who to trust on anything. And apart from the science and health debate around masks, there's also now this constant debate around personal freedoms, individuality, things that quite honestly are very important and Americans value a lot. So does a mask mandate infringe on these First Amendment and free speech rights? Let's hear from Vice President Mike Pence.
Is there a message that you would like to send to people about the importance of wearing masks?
Freedom of speech and the right to peaceably assemble is enshrined in the Constitution of the United States. And even in a health crisis, the American people don't forfeit our constitutional rights.
I can buy into that a little bit because in America, we're supposed to be able to choose what we want to do. But it seems to me that's not really what it's about. It's not really about the Constitution anymore. It's more about flexing. Like Trump, he's definitely made it now into a political issue, and the media, because of ratings, continues to egg him on.
There was a lot of interest about whether you would end up wearing a mask today. Could you just take us through your thought process of why you decided not to wear a mask?
Well, I had one on before. I wore one in this back area, but I didn't want to give the press the pleasure of seeing it. But no, where I had it in the back area, I did put a mask on. Right,
so in the situation at the Ford plant, Trump himself supposedly wore a face mask, but then despite the press, he didn't want to wear one in front of him. This is silliness. This is absolute silliness. This debate continues in Congress today. Last week, Representative Mark Green of Tennessee continued to conflate this mask-wearing debate despite being asked to wear one out of courtesy to his colleagues.
If you're asking my clinical opinion, sir, Yes.
My opinion is that patients who are in high-risk categories,
patients?
people, individuals, sure, anyone who's 65 years or older who has comorbidities should wear a mask. If you don't, I'm telling people in Tennessee, it's not required.
Once again, just silliness. And here's the problem with all this back and forth. Honestly, I think it's this confusion that has been created around science and this efficacy of masks and lying and also this rhetoric of making this a political issue that have empowered regular people to act out and act disrespectfully towards their fellow community members. Because here's the deal, while all these politicians and high-ranking public health officials are having their little fun debate about masks and First Amendment rights, small businesses and frontline workers, they have to bear the brunt of this backlash in real life, on both sides, mask wearers and non-mask wearers. Every day you see new videos witnessing shaming of people who aren't wearing masks, harassment of people wearing masks, and even just physical assault of grocery store employees who are just trying to do their job. And now it's gotten to a point where some businesses have had to close because of this. In LA, a taco stand called Hugo Taco Stand has literally had to close because their employees were getting constantly harassed and put in dangerous, compromising situations. Here's a tweet that was put out by the restaurant. To our customers, our taco stands are exhausted by the constant conflicts over guests refusing to wear masks. Staff have been harassed, called names, and had objects and liquids thrown at them. A mask isn't symbolic of anything other than our desire to keep our staff healthy. And this is just one example of many examples of similar instances happening all throughout America. I'm sure you've seen it online, on the news. So once again, to elites, this is like a fun debate. I'm not saying it's fun, but this is just a debate to them, a political, moral, or maybe even a health, you can call it a public health debate if you want. But depending on which side they sit on, everyone, of those guys, from the unknown congressperson to Pelosi and Trump, is just jockeying for position, trying to impress their base of supporters to appear righteous or macho or whatever it may be. The thing is, these well-off elites, once they're done with their debate, they go home to their comfortable houses or mansions or whatever it may be, and then they order takeout for dinner. But to regular people, the people who have to run businesses, who have to go to work, for them, this is reality. And in the end, it's always the working class and the average American, the ones who have to work to keep the lights on in this country. They're the ones that have to suffer. You have literally Walmart employees, minimum wage, enforcing mask policies and dealing with abuse from customers. And I don't hear a peep out of our elected officials trying to help these people out. Like, how about some hazard pay at the very least for these guys? Just incredibly disappointing. And this kind of poor leadership reminds me of when I was working as a customer service rep, the guy that answers the calls and call center style every day. And we hear like the CEO and other execs making decisions that were bad for the customers, and then they sometimes even ask us to lie to the customers. To them, it was like some business decision they had to make. But to us, we had to deal with these angry customers yelling at us all day, 8 hours a day. And I think that kind of parallels what's going on with this country right now. Like, if our elected officials, if they don't even have the courtesy to put on their masks for the safety of their colleagues, how are they going to expect the average American to follow suit? And I want to try to somehow spin this in a positive light, because what I try to do, but to keep it 100% real, this is not good. This is the United States in a decline, a kind of a rapid decline. And watching this decline is like watching your favorite musician just spiral into drug and alcohol abuse right before your eyes. It's incredibly disheartening to witness. Thank you for watching 5149. I just want to share my appreciation to those folks who have to go out every single day and face this pandemic in a very real, face-to-face kind of way. Your service is not overlooked by me. If you're watching and you agree, please give this video a like, and if you enjoyed it, please subscribe. It helps out tremendously. I'll be back next week. My name is James Lee, and I thank you for your time.